Every year, its seventh of proposed budget was cut either by Congress or the White House. When Falcon first took office, he later recalled he discovered that some risk examinations were being put off because the agency didn't have the manpower to conduct them. The agency estimated that it needed 60 examiners to do its job properly. It had 17 of its entire budget, which ranked between was less than the total compensation of the four top executives on Fannie and Freddie. The year after he took the job, Representative Maurice Hinchell, Hinchell bribery offered an amendment on the floor of the House the increase of its budget. Falcon would later testify. The amendment was angrily opposed by the chairman of the VA and Appropriation Subcommittees, who lashed out at me personally for encouraging the amendment. It didn't pass. Keep its life and late life attitude toward the Jesus, the Bush White House was not an early supporter of Ovio. Nevertheless, Falcon decided to initiate a study on the systemic risks posed by the Jesus. It would be hard to imagine a more important topic for to tackle. It would also be hard to imagine a topic more likely to inflame Fanny Mae. Ovio was set to release its report. In truth, it was an thought, the possibility of either enterprise failing or contributing to a financial crisis is remote, it concluded. But it also raised the possibility, small thought it was, that Fannie or Freddie could get into trouble and cause disruption to the housing market and the financial system. Most companies would have accepted such mild criticism with at most a press release rebuttal. But according to Falcon, Reines and Freddie Mae immediately went into overkill mode. A few days before the report was sent to be issued, Reines called Falcon and asked him not to issue it. When I reaffirmed my plans, Falcon later said he threatened to bring down me and the agency. Fannie lobbyists then called Treasury and other regulatory agencies, asking them to press Opel not to release the report. Reines called Falcon allegation totally made up. Although he called Falcon to tell him that it was highly unusual for a regulator to issue a report saying its regulated companies might bring down the financial system. He insists there was no threat. Fannie was just getting started. February 4 was the day Falcon had set for releasing the report. He had flown to New York to give a speech out, outlining its findings. As he wanted to give the speech, he got a call from the White House personnel office informing him that the administration was about to announce his replacement. It was none other than Mark Brickell, the former JP Morgan derivatives lobbyist. Although Falcon's dream styles had a year and a helped to go, he dutifully wrote a resignation letter. Not surprisingly, the news coverage of Brinkle totally drowned out any coverage of your reports. Falcon was humiliated, and yet Falcon comes up keeping his job. In part, Brinkley said a few too many impolitic things during his confirmation hearings later that year, but more than that, the political wind were shifting. Whereas it had once been in the administration's interest to play nice with Fannie and Freddie, it was suddenly in the administration's political interest to show it could get out in the guess, although there was no love lost between Falcon and the Bush administration. The White House realized that his doggedness and, for that matter, his anger could be useful when Brinkley withdrew his nomination. The White House decided to stick with Falcon. The war between the GSS and the White House was on. It was the Enron scandal that caused the politician wind to change. The Enron scandal spoke at the White House. Bush had been friends with Enron CEO Ken Lay and had even bestowed on Lay one of his famous nicknames, Kenny Boy. When the administration looked around in the wake of the Enron debate to see what other potential business scandal might hurt it, it was hard to miss Fannie and Freddie. The Enron scandal had another more practical consequence. It caused Freddie Mac to hire a new accounting firm. Freddie's longtime team firm, Arthur Andersen, and been, had been um, forced out of business after being indicted for its role in the Enron debacle in the fair reading business environment. And Freddie's new accountant at PricewaterhouseCoopers scrubbed Freddie's book and found them seriously wanting and forced Freddie Mac to restate its earnings going back years. In January, around the same time OFIO was sending around its report on systemic risks, Freddie Mac announced that it would be restating its earnings materially for at least the past 2 years. The restatement, when it was unveiled 6 months later, was a stunner since Freddie and had understated its earnings by some $5 billion. The purpose of the understatement had been to produce smooth earnings growth. Freddie's entered senior management, their team had to step down. Fannie responded to Freddie's problems with astonishing, with unsurprising self-right to houseness. Rainey's publicity accused Freddie of causing collateral damage. The frankly asked questions section of Manning website included the following statement. Fannie Mae report financial results follow generally accepted account principles to the letter. There should be no question about her accounting. The Freddie restatement was yet another humiliation for Falcon. Not long before Freddie revealed that it would have to restate its earnings, Falcon had publicly pronounced the company international controls accurate and revealed. Furious at having been so wrong about Freddie Mac, Falcon decided to launch an investigation to see if Fannie had the same problems obvious, hired Deloitte it touched the big accounting firm to dig into Fannie's book. The White House piled on, yanking Bush presidential appointments from the GIS boards. Then in the fall of it put its weight behind a bill to Towen regulator of the USA's a bill tends Fannie's lobbyists managed to water down, causing the White House to pull its support. The bill filed around the same time Jon Snow, the new Treasury Secretary, even called for a receivership provincial Fannie and Freddie or Freddie's become insolvent. Amazingly, there was no real procedure in place for organizing in the event of a bankruptcy. The larger implications were clear. The government was signaling that it would not stand behind Fannie and Freddie's debt.